One of the most highly anticipated mobile games right now just announced they're going to be returning to Android and this time around iOS in the form of a closed beta in a few short weeks. Of course, I'm talking about Rainbow Six Mobile, and today I'm going to give you guys all the information you need to know about how you can get your hands on this game very soon. Now, Rainbow Six Mobile has been making headlines over the last what feels like maybe a year or so. Ever since the game was announced, they were going to be bringing their Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege to mobile. Now, knowing a game is coming to mobile is very exciting, but you know what's even more exciting? Being able to actually get your hands on the game and play it for yourself. And last year, players around the world were able to do just that with Rainbow Six's first closed beta. I got my hands on the beta, played and tested a little bit, but what I was really waiting for was their second closed beta, which they just announced they're going to be rolling out to a ton more countries to both iOS and Android very soon. And so let's go hop into their latest blog post. Now here we are on Rainbow Six Mobile's website, or I guess blog page, and you can see Rainbow Six Mobile closed beta 2.0. This is a beefy boy. There's a lot of information to go through, and regardless if you're iOS or Android, I'm going to tell you guys how in around 2 weeks you can get your hands on this game and play it, but guys, I think it's going to be really fun. They start off by saying, we're alive since finishing our closed beta last fall. We've been working hard on Rainbow Six Mobile. We know it's been tough waiting for updates, and we all appreciate your patience waiting for us to drop the next round of news. They then go on to basically say that they learned a ton of things about their first closed beta. They had really high standards. They think they got pretty close, but all in all, they were able to take a lot of learnings and a lot of lessons away from this first closed beta and apply it to the next one, which we're all about to get our hands on. Now, the thing everyone wants to know is what countries is this accessible in? And they go on and say the next closed beta test will begin June 6th, 2023, which is about 2 weeks away, and will be open for 6 weeks. Players who have pre-registered in the following countries will have a chance at receiving an invite via Google Play. Those countries being Canada, US, Mexico, Brazil, Singapore, Philippines, India, France, UK, Germany, Italy, Spain, Japan, South America, and Australia. Now, this is a very comprehensive list as far as closed beta goes. Typically, when it comes to closed betas, they're usually in like random far-off countries. A good example is Warzone Mobile. I think the countries are Norway, Sweden, Australia, and Chile. 4 countries with seemingly no correlation, and on top of that, with really small populations. So instead, Rainbow Six has actually dished out this beta to a ton of populous countries, meaning there are going to be hundreds of millions of people in these countries who can potentially get their hands on the game. And even if you don't live in one of these countries, at the end of the video, I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how you still might be able to play this game regardless of what region you're in. Next up, they say players who participated in the last closed beta will already have their spot secured. Your feedback, like during the previous tests, is paramount to helping us develop Rainbow Six Mobile and make it a success. So if you guys were able to get your hands on the last beta test, you're kind of already shooed into this next one without worrying about having to roll the dice. What can you expect in this closed beta? Well, the operators and the maps that were accessible during our previous beta test will remain, along with a few additions. Operators progression via mastery tracks, as well as early customization systems being loadouts and skins. Also, new beta battle pass with no experience cap, and an introduction of the team deathmatch game mode. You guys all know what TDM is, where they basically go on to say here in this next paragraph that TDM just gives you a really easy chance to experiment with a lot of the operators, with weapon loadouts, and learn new maps. One of my big gripes in the last Rainbow Six Mobile beta was that the game just really felt kind of slow. If I played for like an 8 or 9 minute match, I was probably only controlling a character in the game for like 3 of those minutes. So this way, regardless if people like the tactile play of Rainbow Six and how it's, very tactical shooter, they can still experience TDM and get a whole lot more action, get a whole lot more hands-on feel, and experience the game for themselves with this new mode, which I am a fan of. And for all of you iOS players out there, great news, because iOS is here. Probably one of the most anticipated moments of Rainbow Six Mobile will finally arrive, the addition of iOS. During our next closed beta, a limited number of iOS players in Canada, USA, and Japan will be invited via the Apple test flight. If you haven't already registered, you could do so here, and I will leave this link down below in the description. It is a link to the website to sign up for the iOS version of the beta, and if you've previously, you don't need to do it again. Now, I do need to give you guys a very big heads up. If you are wanting to play the Rainbow Six Mobile closed beta on iOS, there's a pretty small chance you're going to get in, and that's for one reason. This isn't because Rainbow Six Mobile wants a select few people to actually play the game. As they mentioned, they said the players in Canada, USA, and Japan will have to sign up for this beta using Test Flight. Now, this is kind of like another Play Store within the iOS ecosystem, but it's only used for testing out beta versions of apps. And because of this, Test Flight only allows up to 10,000 unique users to get access to any given beta. So the maximum number of people in these 3 regions who are going to be able to play the Rainbow Six Mobile beta is 10,000. And no, this isn't 10,000 per country. This is 10,000 between Canada, USA, and Japan. And the population of those 3 countries is like 400 million. And I know all 400 million people aren't going to be signing up for this beta. But you can at least assume a few 100,000 will most likely be signing up for this beta on the iOS platform. So if you don't get in, don't be bummed and don't get mad at Rainbow Six, because once again, this isn't their fault. It's not something they're designing this around. It's just the way betas are ran on iOS. And for every other app out there that runs a beta on iOS, they do the exact same thing. And although it's unfortunate, it's still cool. iOS players are going to be able to get their hands on the beta because Rainbow Six is launching a ton of new things. This right here is their milestone roadmap, and you can kind of see just what exactly they're planning on doing. Now, I will say it's kind of a roadmap. It's kind of not a roadmap. It just kind of says when they're planning on doing certain things. So the closed beta right now, the only date we have is June 6th. We don't know when the game is going to have an open beta or soft launch, and we don't know when the game is going to worldwide roll out. Regardless, we know that TDM is going to be coming in this next closed beta, as well as mastery tracks, loadout customization, skin customization, battle passes, gyroscope, and haptic feedback. So all pretty basic things that are expected within mobile games. However, during the open beta and soft launch, we can expect the game to always be live, meaning there's not going to be a reset of your experience or the mastery you get on your characters. There's going to be mini seasons, probably like Warzone Mobile, where they're month-long seasons, and they're even running during the closed beta portion of the game. A ranked mode, an event-based game mode, updated onboarding, which I guess is getting more people into the game or allowing more countries, and an additional map. Lastly, when the game fully comes out worldwide, there's going to be full seasons with probably full content included. There's going to be additional operator added. Maybe this means a mobile exclusive operator, controller support, and match reconnect, so that if your game crashes or lags out, you can reconnect in without losing out on a ton of rank points or just losing the match. So a lot of really good, really cool features are being planned to come in the next, I'm guessing the game could maybe come out globally in like 6 months. I think there was a good like 6 months between the last closed beta and this one, so they're definitely taking their time, which isn't a bad thing. I also want you guys to realize that game companies taking their time to build good games, there's nothing wrong with that. If anything, we've seen previously that if a game rushes its launch, then it might actually make things worse in the long run. So I'm more than fine with Rainbow Six not giving out dates for other things and just making sure that whatever they're producing is of the highest quality, because that will make sure the game, when it does come out worldwide, is the best version possible. And that's basically how they end off this blog post, saying that they're not sharing any dates. They just want this game to be as good as possible, but when they do have dates confirmed, they will share them on social media. And at that point, they're probably going to be dates and how to play the open beta and the soft launch and the worldwide rollout, which I will keep you guys informed on. I'm also hopefully going to get access to the game on iOS, and since I had access on Android, I should be good to go there. But I did mention, if you guys don't live in one of the countries, either for iOS or the Android version of the game, there is one way that you most likely will be able to download and play Rainbow Six Mobile, even if you don't get access to the closed beta through the Google Play Store. Now, for you iOS users, if you don't get access, I'm sorry, there's really no way to sideload apps right now. There's no way to download apps if you weren't invited through this beta test. However, if you are an Android player, most likely what's going to happen is the APK or the raw file of Rainbow Six Mobile is going to be uploaded somewhere online on the internet, on some sort of website. You should, in theory, be able to go and download that APK and then install on your device. Once it's there, you might be able to VPN into one of these countries right here on screen and sort of make Rainbow Six think you got invited to the beta. I'm not sure. And also, I don't know how strict they're going to be about people trying to VPN and get access to the closed beta if they weren't actually invited. We know Warzone Mobile has been pretty strict about not wanting people to participate in the closed beta if they weren't invited or if they don't live in one of those countries. So I'll give you guys more information once the closed beta does come out. There still is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel in terms of being able to play this beta when it does drop, but I am massively looking forward to Rainbow Six Mobile. I know I'm gonna get my hands on one of the operating systems, iOS or Android or both, and I'll make sure to bring you guys gameplay June 6th when the game does launch. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, a like would be greatly appreciated, and drop it up if you haven't already. But all that being said, it's been more Ducky the Gamer, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Doses.